Hey guys, so between the stress of the ongoing pandemic, as well as the nonstop calls to action for social justice that we're seeing, it's pretty hard to imagine a scenario where we're not already burnt out, if not pretty damn close to it. So in today's video, I really wanted to focus on sharing with you my top self-care tips that I utilize daily to help treat overwhelm. For more insights and practical tips on how to live a more fulfilling life that creates impact, be sure to subscribe to my channel. So what I realized after incorporating this self-care routine into my life daily was that I've spent a good chunk of my life stressed out. Between work and personal life, I was always just functioning through the stress and never actually actively working to decrease it or to figure out where it came from. And so I really want you to take these tips and use them as an ongoing process to communicate with your body and figure out what is going on and figure out how you can manage it and get through it. So my first daily self-care tip is to do gentle yoga. Now, you don't have to be some type of crazy yoga guru. You don't have to dedicate hours on end to doing it. You don't have to stay in a meditative state for hours on end. These aren't things that are necessary. You can really get the benefits of gentle yoga with just a few basic moves and literally maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day. And I set a timer so that I feel comfort in knowing that I can actually relax and I can get centered, be more present, and really just pay attention to my inner voice and my inner feelings. And when I set a timer, it kind of makes me feel more comfortable because I know that I don't have to worry about anything that is due or anything that I need to do because I know that I've set this time specifically for myself. And until that timer goes off, I can be in deep and total relaxation. I would definitely recommend watching a yoga video at first. You can get something for free off of YouTube. I'll link something in the description box below where you can at least get some of the foundations and the basics. General rule of thumb is you just don't want to hurt. Don't do anything that hurts. It should not be painful. You really want to be focusing on your breathing. So long, slow, deep breaths. And those really help you to get more comfortable, to get more relaxed, to really center in on your body and what you're feeling and in your mind. And oftentimes when you're kind of in this relaxed state, ideas and thoughts and stressors that are consuming your day, they will eventually pop up into your brain, but that's okay. It's completely normal. You just sort of brush it to the side and remember to get back to your breath and stay focused. And even in days where I feel like I've had almost a million thoughts pop into my head while I'm trying to be mindful and present during this time, I still get the benefits of it. I still feel totally and completely relaxed. Oftentimes, if I am dealing with an issue, if I'm stuck on an idea, or I'm not quite sure where I want to go in a particular creative direction, or if I had a problem that I was trying to figure out the day before, if I leave it for the next day and then while I'm doing yoga, oftentimes the solution that I want just pops right into my head just like that. And it's really weird, but extremely effective. So I highly recommend that you do it. I do recommend listening to music while you do it, but music without words. Sometimes if I really don't want to be too hyper-focused in the present moment, which defeats the purpose, I know, I will listen to a podcast or something with words, but to get the best benefits, I definitely highly recommend that you listen to maybe lo-fi beats without any words so that you don't have anything that your mind can attach to. You're just focused on your internal thoughts and just focused on your internal feelings, and you just have less distraction, but also have a nice rhythm that also relaxes you while you're in the moment. My next tip would be to start bullet journaling. So if you've already been following bullet journaling, especially in the YouTube space, you'll notice that people can get really creative with these bullet journals. They literally can turn them into works of art. I keep it super simple, super practical, super bare bones. So my journal literally is just a regular standard notebook, and in it I just write in the spaces I need. Now the key to this is that you do have to write. You can't just type your journal because you miss out on the added benefits of actually writing with your hand. So when I start the day, I'll write up at the top the date, and I also do use bubble letters, and I consciously use bubble letters because I want to slow down my writing. So oftentimes, and you could probably relate to this if you're someone who's kind of always in a rush, always ready to move on to the next thing, you kind of want to instinctually just rush yourself through the process just to get the task accomplished. But no, I highly recommend incorporating bubble letters so that you have to force yourself to slow down. And so that connects back to the aspect of being mindful, the aspect of being present and slowing down with yourself. So I do that. Also, for my today section, I try to stick to not giving myself more than 3 items to do in a day just to prevent myself from being overwhelmed. I purposely like to incorporate like free time or a free period, so it's really up to me to decide what I want to do with it. If I choose to make that time productive, then that's something I choose to do, but it's not necessarily something that you have to do. Also, I do pencil in my lunch because a 1-hour lunch break at least, minimum, is important. I mean, some people are okay with the 30 minutes, but I definitely make sure I schedule a full hour for myself to decompress midday, and I find it to be super helpful. For me, a 30-minute is like nothing, and so I really don't feel any relaxation from it. So I highly recommend giving yourself a full hour. Even if you're working from home, even if you're your own boss, even if you're applying for jobs right now, give yourself a full hour lunch break just to make sure that you're taking the time midday to decompress. In the journal section, I always like to start out my journal with I feel. In the past, I always felt like when I journaled, I focused on the things that I got done for the day, the things I didn't get done for the day, the people that annoyed me, all these external things. But really, I start off my journal with I feel and fill in the blank. It may seem a bit weird or unnecessary to many people, but I actually use the emotion wheel, so the wheel of emotions that goes through pretty much every aspect of emotion that you can feel. And I use that to help me pinpoint exactly how I'm feeling in that moment. And this is also connected to mindfulness, to being more tuned with your body to figure out how you're feeling and then maybe try and figure out why you're feeling that way. This also helps you identify things that keep you in flow. So in one of my previous videos, I mentioned discovering activities that energize you. And this is one key way that you can figure that out, that you can really see what activities energize you, which activities deplete you, and you can really see which things you should keep going with and which things you need to just cut from your life. In my last section, I include a gratitude section, and this is really important because even on days when you're feeling like you're at your worst, or you're feeling like you got nothing done, and just feeling just really low, or feel like you have nothing good to be grateful or thankful for, this section forces you to actually realize, yes, I am grateful for X, Y, and Z. There's always something that we can be grateful for, no matter what happened that day, no matter how crappy we're feeling. There's always something that we can say, you know what, but I'm really grateful that I have X, Y, and Z, or that I felt X, Y, and Z. The third self-care tip that I have for you is make sure that you're setting boundaries with your social media use. Now, completely getting rid of social media cold turkey is way easier said than done. For me, I found that it's much easier if I just set time limits to it. Now, there are definitely apps. I've heard that there are apps out there that can help you do this, but honestly, I just use the timer that's already on my phone. I just set it to maybe 20 minutes or so, and then I just know that that is my time to be on social media. I also try my best not to get into the habit of just scrolling mindlessly. I like to make sure that my social media use is pretty targeted. So depending on which platform I'm using, I may have a very specific intention in mind. So if I'm on Instagram, there's probably a few influencers or thought leaders that I want to kind of see what's going on in their lives or what insights they have for the day. And so I'll just automatically just go to their stories. If I'm on Facebook, then I'm probably just checking to see what my family and my close friends are up to. And so honestly, you know, that gets tired after a while, so 20 minutes is plenty, okay? So depending on which platforms you're using and why you're using them, I would highly recommend setting boundaries in terms of how much time you spend on them and also ways to get more targeted with them. Who specifically do you want to check up on and why? And really use that to kind of guide your social media use. This also helps us to avoid some of the more trauma-inducing material that's out there right now. Even though it's there to help us get educated and informed, we still can't deny the impact it has on our mental health. Also, sometimes you just want to post something just to post something, and you don't necessarily have to check on what other people are doing. Especially if you're using social media for work, then you just I just go on, post what I want to post, and then I get off of it. And then if I want to check to see if other people have commented, if I'm trying to see how engagement's doing, honestly, most of this can get done within 24 hours. And so I'll either check back in later on in the evening or just wait to the very next day. Personally, I feel like you don't necessarily have to respond to people the instant that they send you a message. I feel like our smartphones have definitely created this nature and this culture where we feel like we have to instantaneously react to things that are sent to us, and really it's very unhealthy, and we need to remember to set boundaries on our usage. So if you found these tips helpful, be sure to like, be sure to share them with your overwhelmed and exhausted friend because I'm sure that they need it, and comment down below and let me know which tips you plan on using tomorrow. For more positive vibes, as well as practical insights and ideas on how to create impact, and a heads up on my future content, be sure to follow me at A Tribe Called Liz on Instagram. If you're just beginning your mindfulness journey, be sure to check out these videos as well. See you later.